So, what if I told you that basically everything you've been taught about losing that stubborn belly fat is, well, wrong? Yeah, all the crunches, the crazy diets, the endless hours on the treadmill, you might be targeting the wrong thing entirely. Today, we're going to unlock a science-backed protocol that might just blow your mind.
This quote right here, it just hits home, doesn't it? I mean, you put in all that work, you feel the burn, but that firm belly just will not budge. Well, there's a reason for that, and it's because, as it says here, you're fighting the wrong enemy. So what is the real enemy?
See, the thing is, the real problem isn't the fat you can see and pinch. Nope. The true danger, the real culprit, is hidden deep inside your body.
Okay, so let's break this down. There are really two types of belly fat. On one hand, you've got subcutaneous fat. That's the soft, kind of jiggly stuff that sits right under your skin. Honestly, it's mostly harmless. But then there's visceral fat, and that is the hidden dangerous stuff we really need to talk about.
Visceral fat isn't just sitting there taking up space. No way. It's actually a biologically active tissue. Think about that. It literally wraps itself around your vital organs, your liver, your pancreas, your heart, and it spews out inflammatory chemicals and messes with your hormones. It acts less like stored energy and more like a rogue gland that's gone haywire.
And here's the really sneaky part. You don't even have to be overweight to have a problem with this stuff. There's a condition called TOFI, which stands for thin outside, fat inside. You can look perfectly healthy, maybe even slim on the outside, but still have a dangerous amount of this visceral fat packed around your internal organs.
So you might be wondering, how in the world can I tell if I have this hidden danger without some expensive high-tech body scan? Well, luckily, there's a surprisingly simple self-diagnosis you can do, like right now.
This is the million-dollar question, right? So let's just answer it. No more guessing. Let's do a quick physical test.
Okay, it's called the poke test. Seriously, go ahead and stand up and poke your stomach. If it feels soft and squishy, jiggly, that's mostly that harmless subcutaneous fat we talked about. But if your belly sticks out and it feels hard, firm, and solid, almost like you've swallowed a basketball, that firmness is a major red flag. It's a sign that visceral fat is pushing out against your abdominal wall from deep inside.
And let's be crystal clear about what that firmness really means. It's not just some bloating and it's not muscle. I want you to think of it this way and really let this sink in. That firmness is your liver screaming for help.
Okay, so we've identified the enemy. Now for the good news. While visceral fat is seriously dangerous, it also happens to be the easiest type of fat to burn off if you know the right biological code. So let's get into that three-step attack plan.
Here's our roadmap to taking this stuff down. First up, we have what's called the Carotenoid Scavenger Hunt. Sounds fun, right? Second, we're going to use the liquid key. And third, the secret weapon, the 75% rule for movement. Let's break down exactly what each of these means.
All right, step one is all about understanding what this internal fat loves to feed on. Turns out it absolutely thrives on something called oxidative stress. You can just think of it as cellular rust. So if we want to get rid of the fat, we have to get rid of the rust first. And the best rust removers out there? Compounds called carotenoids. These are the natural pigments that give vegetables their brilliant, vibrant colors. In fact, a Japanese study found that eating more foods rich in carotenoids actually flips a genetic switch that tells your body to burn more fat. This leads to a super simple rule. If a food is vibrant, orange, red, deep green, it's fighting the fat. If it's beige, like bread, pasta, crackers, it's probably feeding it. Step two is what we're calling the liquid key, and this comes from green tea, specifically a powerful compound in it called a catechin, or ECGC for short. Now, think of ECGC like a bouncer at the door of your gut. It blocks the enzyme lipase, which is what your body uses to absorb fat from your food. So this ECGC essentially stands there and tells some of that fat, nope, you're not on the list, you're not getting in. But, and listen, this is a really big but. You can't just go grab any bottled green tea from the convenience store. Most of that stuff is just sugar water, which will actually make things worse. To get these benefits, you need the real deal. High-quality matcha or sencha tea. With these, you're consuming the entire powdered leaf, which gives you a massive, super effective dose of those fat-blocking catechins. All right, we've covered what you eat and what you drink. Now, let's get to the most powerful step of all, If diet helps with overall weight loss, think of this final step as a laser-guided missile aimed specifically at that dangerous visceral fat.
And the science on this is incredible. One study found that this very specific approach to movement slashed visceral fat by 48% in just 2 months. Think about that. That's almost half of that dangerous internal fat gone, with just 2 45-minute sessions a week.
And this chart right here shows why so many of us get discouraged and just give up. In that study, the people didn't actually lose a whole lot of weight on the scale. See that little bar? But look at the huge bar for visceral fat loss. That's why you have got to ignore the scale. The most important changes, the ones that really matter for your health, are the ones you can't even see.
So what is this magic exercise? Well, it's not about what you do, it's all about the intensity. The target is about 75% of your peak effort, and you can find this sweet spot using the super simple talk test. Just look at the table. If you can easily sing a song while you're exercising, you're going too easy. If you're so out of breath you can't even speak a single word, you're pushing too hard. The magic zone, the just right spot, is when you can still speak in full sentences, but you sound a little winded doing it. That's it. That's the zone where you absolutely incinerate visceral fat. Okay, we've covered a ton of science. Now let's boil it all down into a simple, clear, no excuses action plan that you can literally start tomorrow.
Here is your mission. Number 1, add your shield. That means putting at least 1 serving of a deeply colored vegetable on your plate at every single meal. Number 2, use the key. Just swap one of your daily coffees for a clean matcha or sencha tea. And number 3, find the zone. Get your heart rate up for about 45 minutes, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, using that talk test to make sure you're at the right intensity. That's it.
And finally, I want to leave you with a really crucial piece of advice. Remember this: consistency always beats intensity. The perfect workout plan is totally useless if you hate it and never do it. So if you don't like running, for heaven's sake, don't run. Walk up a steep hill, go swimming, get on a bike. Find the movement you actually enjoy, because the best exercise in the world is the one you will actually do. You know that dangerous fat hiding inside your body is a driver of so many chronic diseases. But here's the amazing thing. Your body is incredibly resilient. It wants to heal. All it needs from you is the right set of signals. So the question I want to leave you with is this: are you ready to start sending them?